Hello and welcome to Amateur Hour 38. It's me and Trent again, so we're just going to do a Cyclone Power Hour and talk a little Caitlin Clark. I'm sorry, Trent. We're going to have to do a little bit of Caitlin Clark here.
I mean, it's deserving, I think.
You know what? I guess when you're going to inevitably become the all-time leading women's scorer and probably all-time college basketball scorer, I guess we'll give her a little respect, little respect to her name, right?
Yeah, we'll talk about her on this Cyclone Quickie pod here.
Yeah, we don't have to like it though, which
No.
I get it's going to irritate us. But no, welcome everyone to the podcast here. Trent, I got a you're not going to believe it because it's been a few weeks. I got a trivia question for you.
Ooh, let's hear it.
Before he was Apollo Creed in The Black Guy and Predator, what university and position did Carl Weathers play in college football? I'll give you that. I forgot to throw that in there.
What position did he play in college football?
Yeah, and university.
Defensive end. And what conference?
Oh shit. Mountain West.
I was gonna say it must not be a Power 5 if you got to think about it.
It was linebacker, by the way, but I'll give you defensive end. It's pretty much the same thing
now. Boise State.
A little farther south.
Utah State.
San Diego State.
San Diego State. Nice.
Yeah, he's there. Him, Tony Glenn. So many greats went to the San Diego State. They sneaky actually have a lot of great all-time athletes, man.
Yeah.
Tony Gwynn, not all time, but like Kawhi Leonard went there.
Yep.
Did Marshall Falk, or am I making that up? Just spreading misinformation.
I don't know about Marshall Falk. Quick Google search will.
Yeah, quick Google search. But now here's the bonus question while you're Google searching it, man.
Okay.
Can you tell me what pro team he plays for? Or he played for? Sorry, RIP, not anymore.
Oh, yeah. So I'm guessing the team does not exist anymore.
Not in the same city. They still exist.
The Rams.
Oh my God! Well, I guess I forgot. There's 3 teams that moved that all start with Las. Las Vegas Raiders.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So sorry, I stumbled through a lot of that, but yeah, it was RIP. Carl Weathers. That one kind of stung a little bit right before right before the pod here, but I wanted to make sure we understood how great he was in college. We all think about his days at San Diego State.
Yes, for sure. And good pull on Marshall Falk. Also, San Diego State. Yeah.
It was sitting in there. They also had like a not Rashad Penny. They had another running back that just had an incredible 2,000-yard season a couple seasons ago, and I cannot think of his name off the top of my head for the life of me.
Oh, let's see here. I'm looking up San Diego State football Wikipedia here.
Oh, just all-time greats.
Yeah.
So, no, I would say, well, while you're looking that up, man, I'll jump into it just a little bit here. Hold on, I guess, do you want to do Iowa State or you want to get the Caitlin Clark talk?
Let's get Caitlin Clark out of the way.
There we go. Alrighty, well, we'll jump into that real quick. I know you don't have it, man. I guess my one bit here, because like I said, we could shit on it all we want, but what she's doing is incredible right now, man. Same thing with a lot of these athletes in the past. I can never get over when media gets too involved with it, and now they're going, how can we make this and kind of piss some fans off? And I'm just going to share an image with you so you can see what I'm talking about. This was Fox. This was Fox college basketball on Fox. The game was on FS1, I believe, and they had a Caitlin Clark cam where literally I watched it. She went off for shooting, I think 3 of 3 at a point, and the screen just went into flames. You can see people donating roses, which is basically them giving money to Fox News or college basketball at Fox. People commenting, but the camera just stuck on her the whole time. On defense, it didn't even follow the ball. It just followed Caitlin Clark. It was absolutely disgusting. It reminded me, do you remember the Tebow cam?
I do remember the Tebow cam.
it was gross, man. Like they followed her the whole time. I understand she's the one that's growing the game, but it's also to the point where it's like, okay, like she's growing the game so that all women can enjoy it, and you're just focusing on the one. Like there's a reason why not, if you're Fox and you have the ability to stream it with the rights anyways, why not just stream the game? You can throw a few more highlights in there. No, they just focus straight on her the whole time.
So they weren't even carrying the game. It was just the Caitlin Clark
It
cam?
was well. Have you ever watched like a movie or whatever on your iPhone and it doesn't quite get the full screen? It was
Yep.
that. It was just, but it was
Okay.
focused on her the whole time. It was very
Okay.
weird.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, instead of watching it horizontally like we do on our wide screens, it was watching a landscape video just upright, and it was just her the whole time.
I did see the screenshot you sent of her, like, is all fire and stuff. Yeah.
I flipped it on, and you know what the crappy thing is, because I'm a hater, a little bit of a hater. I go, that's stupid, and then I just kept going back on. Well, let's see what they're talking about now, and everyone's giving thumbs up. But it was interesting, and I know they're using it for like kind of data research. They had 2,000 people concurrently watching it at all times, I think, and it had 800,000 different viewers. So those are people that weren't I got to assume there's a good chunk that weren't watching it, live on TV as well. But very interesting. I guess that's GOAT status to Tebow up there as well. If you got to have your own private cam.
Yep. Yeah. And, talking about Caitlin Clark here, I did a quick Google search on that San Diego State stuff. That Cheryl Swoops could take learn a little something from this podcast. Little Google search will learn you a lot before you hop on ESPN and just spew. I don't want to say lie. It's just you were so misinformed. Come on.
Like I said earlier, hey, I think Marshall Faulk went there, but I don't want to spread misinformation. She said, fuck it, let's just do it live. And she had a lot of stuff wrong. It was crazy how much she got wrong in that 2-minute clip. Yeah. I mean, has she been watching some of our podcasts to see so that's how you get so much stuff wrong that quickly? But I don't know.
Quick Google search and all the information is right there.
But then also, okay, obviously she's a hater. I'm going to tell you right now, Trent, because I've dealt with some of these Iowa trolls, and I've mentioned it several times here. You can go to any thing that she posts probably 2 months from now, and there'll still be people talking about Caitlin Clark, and you're a hater. It's like, clearly she's a hater. Just get over it. It's what I struggle with still when I talk about Patrick Mahomes, and I go, oh, he's so great. And then now everyone's like, fuck him, he's the villain because he's just been so good so long. You just got to embrace it. Like, Iowa fans, embrace that you have the all-time great and just accept that they're going to hate on her. I'm sorry. It's just, imagine anyone that's super good at anything, you're going to hate them for being super good at it, man. I don't know how to say it clearer than that.
Yep.
I don't know, man. But yeah, Cheryl Swoops, Google, please, next time.
2 minutes. It's all it took.
Yeah,
I mean, we came up, like 2 pods ago, we came up with all that information. Wikipedia. God.
And maybe I just am a different type of troll or hater. I like to be informed. Like, if I'm going to hate on something, I got to find the little intricacies that other people don't hate on enough and bring that up. I wonder if maybe Cheryl's just a beginner hater. Maybe she's always enjoyed it and she's just trying to get into the Stephen A game or the Colin Cowherd saying, oh my God, could you imagine if Swoops after all this said Caitlin Clark was the fake idea of women's college basketball? Iowa fans might buy it. You think J6 was bad? Wait until we see what they do. Cheryl Swoops is up mansion climbing those fences.
The ESPN headquarters.
Yeah. Spence, I'm not sure we were really in Andy's room equivalent. I apologize, man. I'm unfamiliar with the reference there, dude.
Andy's room, is it Toy Story?
Oh shit, yeah, Andy. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, I guess they mentioned Barbie there. I was like Andy's. I was thinking. Is that Marvin's Room by Drake?
I have no idea.
Oh, come on, man. I forgot. I'm talking to the one guy that doesn't watch movies or listen to new music. Is it? Hold on. It's not the Turnpike Troubadours, so I fucking
Yeah.
goes straight over your head.
Yeah, I mean, if they got new music coming out, I ain't listening to that other garbage.
What's the latest album named?
Cat in the Rain.
Jesus Christ. Of course it would be Cat in the Rain. I was just trying to think of I'm trying to get into a Mumford and Sons mindset of what it would be named, and yeah,
Mumford and Sons. Turnpike ain't garbage, okay?
Yeah. Okay. He was talking about the NFL game. I completely forgot about that. The NFL game. Yeah. Caitlin Clark. Except they're gonna do it with Bratz dolls. You remember the ones with the big ass heads and eyes? They're gonna do it with Bratz dolls.
Now, LOL dolls they're the in thing.
What the hell are LOL dolls?
It's just as exact same thing as a Bratz doll, pretty much.
So they took the Bratz box and they just put LOL on the side of it. LOL doll.
Yeah, I'm googling it right now. Actually, won't get you.
Yeah, I've never seen those. If a great college football college sports pod right now as we're looking up LOL doll. Oh, do they not have clothes? What the fuck? Why are all of mine not have clothes on at the top? What the hell?
You must have searched something wrong, Bryant.
I just put LOL doll and everything. Oh, they're all the ones that are for sale.
Oh, now, yeah,
okay.
you need to have a 4-year-old girl, and you'd know about these things.
I'm glad I don't understand that reference. I know a lot of young people things, but not LOL doll. So, well, there we go. That's Bratz. They'll do LOL dolls of Caitlin Clark.
Mm-hmm.
So there we go. Yeah, what did she add at the half? Because they're playing Penn State at home, right?
It was, she's got 21 at the half, I think. Yeah, she needs 45 to break the record. So,
I mean, they won't, but legitimately, do you sit her at some point tonight or the next game just to? Because how much are they ahead?
They're only up by 11.
Yeah, they won't win if they take her out of the game at this point. Oh no, they're up by 17 now.
Okay, well.
If they can maintain a good enough lead, sorry, I'm looking at the score now. It's on ESPN. If they maintain a good enough lead, maybe they take her out and hold her to 30 next week, our next game. That would just, like we said, that would just suck if she breaks it on the road. I know it shouldn't matter. Yeah. And then, honestly, I guess if she breaks it on the road, they can do a quick ceremony and do the full pregame before in Iowa City. That would kind of be better, actually.
Yeah, do it at home. Like I said, if I was her, I'd just start breaking shots here. They're not going to take me out.
You know what? Actually, I bet the under. Yeah, so yeah, start breaking some shots here, Caitlin. Daddy need to make some dough because Kansas. I bet money line versus Kansas State. And they just decided to shit the bed in Bramlage after Kansas State had the worst 4-game run I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. Now that helps Iowa State. Kansas losing. It does. Yeah. But Iowa State and Kansas was forming this brotherhood, this relationship to hate Kansas State. And then they go and lose.
They go and lose that shit. I only put down like $5-10 bets, Trent. You know that I'm kind of a puss that way. I put down $35 for Kansas to win because I was like, "There's no way they don't." Yeah. Yep, they lost on the road in Bramlage.
Yep. After K-State's getting beat by 25.
Yeah, just unacceptable. K-State.
Yep.
Or Kansas, do better.
Yeah.
Well, fuck. Let's actually. Do you got anything else you want to say about Caitlin Clark? I think we've said our piece until she actually breaks.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah. Probably this time next week we'll be talking about her breaking the record.
Yeah. No, exactly, and good on her. Yeah. But until then, I get to be a hater.
Yep.
So
even after then too, probably.
You know the crazy thing? I feel like, not to be like hipster, I feel like Iowa State fans were haters on her when it was cool. And now that it's like, oh, she's an all-time great. Now everyone's piling on. It's like, no, that's our person hate. That's our rival. We get to hate them. Like, you don't get to hate on our rival.
Go find somebody else to hate on.
Yeah, go find someone else. So, Iowa State going into men's basketball here, 17-5. I mean, if you would have told us that at the beginning of the year, we would have taken that no matter how it would have
Yep.
happened. But 17-5, 6-3 in conference, 14th in the polls. We only dropped, was that two
Two
spots
spots.
after going 1-1?
Losing to Baylor.
But yeah, getting some respect in the polls. I'm starting to see a lot of people have us mostly as a 4 seed in bracketology. Some are hitting 3. I would almost say the lower the better. Get us to about 4 or 5. I think when Iowa State in the past we've gotten too high, UAB, Hampton. Let's just avoid that. Let's just kind of get into that nice little middle ground there.
Yeah. Now, in bracketology, they're saying Iowa State needs to be a top 4 seed to be placed in
Omaha.
That would be huge. A lot more
Yes.
fans going to Omaha than Timbuktu to watch Iowa State play a NCAA game. Yeah, only dropped 2 points or 2 spots after losing to Baylor on the road.
Hey, Trent, actually, before you go in, could you name the pod that said, surely that this team that's been off for a week won't shit the bed on the road? That would be the worst thing it could have done.
I think it was a
That would've-
podcast literally about 7 days ago called Amateur Hour.
Yeah, oh my God, that was the most predictable Iowa State. Well, in that they would lose on the road.
Yeah. Yeah, like we said, they're getting 2 day or they get a whole week off. And I think they needed that game in there to keep it going.
Got that rust.
Yeah, we called it. I mean, that was a crazy game though. Like what more could you ask for? Like Iowa State's down big. They go on a 20-0 run because of three technicals. Scott Drew gets ejected. And now I'm not blaming the refs here. Because make your free throws. Make your free throws and Iowa State wins that game. I'm not blaming the refs, but I feel like after that happened in the second half, Scott Drew gets ejected, and then for the third technical, they get a technical on their bench about 2 minutes later. Every whistle that went against Baylor, that crowd booed and was negative and went nuts. And then I feel like the refs swallowed some whistles there because they didn't want to piss off the crowd.
They were going to riot in Waco.
Yes. And now, like I said, make your free throws. None of that happens. That is on Iowa State. I'm not blaming the refs here at all, but I feel like that's what happened. Like they weren't going to make a couple calls because they would have burnt that place down.
They would have had people meeting them in the parking lot.
Yeah. And now could you imagine if they would have gotten the clock right at the end and Iowa State would have had like 1.7 seconds and that Momcilovic 3 would have counted because the clock operator was wrong? Could you imagine how pissed off they would have been because of that?
I'm just saying, and again, I understand where his coming from was we didn't call it until half a second left. They burnt 0.7. I know where he's coming from on that. But that's a stupid fucking rule, man.
Yeah,
it's the touchback of rules in college basketball. If you're gonna do that, I was texting you that night. Why doesn't every clock operator that has an inkling of cheering for that team just start it early every time? At worst, you get time taken off out of a 2-second situation, or at best, it doesn't get caught, and it goes on. They get less time to shoot the ball, man.
Yeah. And now with that, they caught it. I don't understand how they can be like, oh, the clock messed up. How do they take time? Like, how is that not still 2 seconds left? I don't understand.
You're punishing the team for literally an administrative error. So again, it would be like a referee. How do you take time out at that point? How do you even calculate the time?
Yes.
I mean, that's the perfect going forward. Big 12 officials, hey, whoever Iowa State's is, you just start that clock slightly early, and they will take half a second off. So instead of 2 seconds to get a dribble and shot off, they get 1.5, 1.2, and they basically have to catch and shoot at that point.
Yep. Yeah, I can't imagine if that, we got 2 seconds and Momcilovic would have made that and it counted. Oh, that would have been awesome.
I would say, speaking of like how we even got back in that game, I'm going to say overall, refereeing was just terrible in
Oh
that game.
God, yes.
And that's not going to be controversial because everyone watching that goes, "What the hell is going on with these technicals?" It was just the biggest flip flop.
Yep.
But it sounds like the Big 12 conference like posted about this. They're trying to be more. I appreciate they're trying to be more transparent, and I love these cameras that they have set up where the referees have to dictate what is going on and say it not only just for the people on television so the announcers aren't speculating, but so the whole crowd hears.
Yep.
You know, yeah, I can't tell you how pissed I am when I'm sitting in Hilton and you're just hearing boos upon boos and goes, "What the hell happened?" And it's just spreads like wildfire, whatever the hell's going on. Instead of him just going explaining like he did, it was a bad explanation, but at least it was an explanation on how they arrived there.
Yep.
You know.
Yep. I like that too.
So I appreciate him doing that. If Brett Yormark though, we see the conference realignment and everything. We're going to have 16 team next year. We know it's going to be powered to in football, and Yormark has always kind of pushed for, I want to be the premier basketball league. That's why you bring in Arizona. That's why you're trying to do the outreach into New York. You want to be this national brand. You better start getting some goddamn good officiating then, because everyone's going to think it's a joke. It doesn't matter how good the basketball is if the officiating is going to be a joke. Start poaching some of these great Big Ten and SEC referees. Pay them, I think it's like $2,000 a session they get at like Power 5 level. Fuck it, pay them $3,000. It's going to be worth having the top of the top referees in your conference, man. It's just, I hate when a game like that is screwed over at the end because of bad officiating, and that's not an anomaly. That's kind of been around the Big 12 this whole season.
Yep. And I feel like the refs now, for some reason, I mean, in the first half they let them play. In the second half, here comes the whistles, and there's a lot of fouls called in the second half of these ball games.
Don't they know that swaying referees because of home field advantage? That's Hilton magic thing.
Yeah.
That ain't Waco. That ain't Carver magic. That's Hilton
Yeah.
magic. Sorry, I gotta say, did you see that Carver magic bullshit going around Twitter?
Yes.
Come on, man. Like, you gotta have some new. I understand they're doing a documentary and it's the Big Ten, so they're not gonna know about every conference, but it's like in basketball, Iowa State's kind of one of the at least bigger brands right now. They've been known for Hilton Magic for decades.
40 years.
You can't just say Carver Magic in something that doesn't have any crowds, unless you could have, out of two of three, you could have said Carver Magic for women's basketball, for Iowa wrestling, and we would have been sure that kind of makes someone. You said it for men's basketball, the one where old ladies are literally yarning in the arena. That's pardon my French. That's fucking stupid.
Maybe we don't know because we don't go to the games. They don't show the halftime show on TV. Maybe they just had like a really good magic show for the halftime show, the men's game. We're just unaware.
Yeah. yeah.
We're uninformed.
You know, this is one thing. I went to the Kansas game a couple weeks ago. I don't know if it's cell phones or something, or maybe I'm just getting older. But man, some of these halftime show fucking suck, man. we had this lady that was just spinning umbrellas, and she dropped a couple. It was just like, your whole thing is like, you're getting paid probably a couple grand to spin some umbrellas here, lady, and you're not doing that good of a job. It was very odd. She was just, it was like standing on her head and then spinning like with her hands, and then she was twirling with her feet. Imagine I'm upside down, obviously, but spinning with her feet, and then just flipping the umbrella so it faced one way and then faced the other, and then she was holding it 1.6 umbrellas up, and I was like, how do you get good at this skill, and what was the point of this skill? It was just flipping big old like beach umbrellas. It was very you know, I think I'm starting to come to a self-conclusion on Trent. There is Red Panda who does the plates.
Yep.
Then you have animals doing tricks.
Like
that's kind of up
the
there.
Chihuahua, like walking on the basketball.
Yeah. I think kids playing the same game but at a smaller scale, that's kind of fun. Seeing them heaving with all of their might to shoot a 2-pointer that like still just hits the rim. And then, like I said, everything else is kind of like, you don't need to get more creative than that. Just bring in Ames toddlers or whatever. You know, baby races. Don't they? Isn't that one of them where they just have kids like crawl to their mothers and whoever's fastest gets a clone cone or something? I don't
Gets
know.
a full ride to Iowa State.
Oh, okay, yeah. I want once a year, and make it like Oklahoma State, where it's just like it's not the greatest game, but there are eight toddlers, and they have to crawl all the way to the other end. How far can babies see? Half court, you think?
Yeah. Put them in
Let's say
half
half court, so we can keep this joke moving. Half court, and whoever crawls through their mother the farthest, quickest, they get their whole tuition paid for, right?
Yep.
And the mothers can kind of like coach them, like Scott Drew. But if they step over, 1 year off. So now you got to kind of think, if I take one large step forward and grab my child to win, I'll get 3 years of college paid for. You're starting to get some gamesmanship from the mothers.
100% worth it.
Too. Yeah, I want to see babies win tuition, and then that baby to grow up to want to go to trade school. That mother, like any other parent, is like, you can be whatever you want. That mother's like, you're going to Iowa State for the 4 years I got you.
To get that,
I don't give a shit if you go to community college beforehand.
Get that
4 years.
full ride and then go to community college, baby.
Yes, sir. Become a Triton. What's D-Max?
The Bears?
Mascot. The Bear. Yeah, you can be a Bear for a couple years, but then you're going back and you're going to get your master's, and who cares what it is? Oh, man. We need to come up with something like that. Or like a legit child's basketball game. Those 5 get a scholarship. Those 5 get a $1,000 scholarship each for whoever wins this 8-6 basketball game. That would be fucking cool, man. All of a sudden you're seeing them actually coach rather than just like good sportsmanship. Way to go. Way to pay attention to the ball this time, Timmy. Spence is asking an important question here, Trent. Do they test for PEDs?
No, this is just like the
enhanced
games. Yeah, I was trying to think of the league.
yeah, the enhanced games with the steroids. I mean, I don't even know what roids you could give children. You have a child. I mean,
instead of like their formula or the breast milk, they give them some Red Bull before the.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's probably the good. I was gonna say Fun Dip. I was gonna be a little more innocent, but give them a real Red Bull.
Yeah.
And let them nap beforehand, so now they're really wired for sound too. Oh man, like I don't even care about the second half of the basketball game at that point. I'm getting more hyped about imagining these children with all the energy in the world having to do that.
That'd be great.
That one last one for specifically Hilton. I think you need to, if you can have a child during the fight song, any child that can do a lap in the fight song, sure, a year tuition. I don't care. It's not my money, but give them a significant enough price. Free clone cones for a year, maybe.
Overrated clone cones.
I've never had one. Me and my buddy are going to go to the Oklahoma one because he's a Boomer fan. Well, Ryan, he's in the chat occasionally. I've never had a clone cone. I'm gonna act like it's a big deal, and I'm gonna have the first one ever there. That's gonna be my excuse.
It's red and yellow vanilla ice cream. If it were like strawberry and lemon, be elite.
Oh,
but it's
strawberry banana too.
It's just vanilla ice cream.
See, I know you're shocked by my stature when I say this, but I'm not a big ice cream guy.
I'm not either.
I just, and also like, you know what? It's the worst part of the year to get. It's like you're coming out from a cold outside to now I want to eat cold inside.
Yeah, I just walked half a mile in -10 degree from my car, and I'm going to get a clone cone.
Here I'm heaving, huffing, getting to my upper deck seats. I go, I need some ice cream. I'm not that fat.
You're like
I could probably down a Diet Dew pretty good, but ice cream, hell.
You head straight from the door to the concessions to get that clone cone to warm up. I gotta warm up. Cold outside.
Yeah. I gotta cool off. Just take a nice scoop, put it on your forehead so you can cool off.
Yeah.
You gotta get it on your main veins, wrists too. That's how you cool off faster.
That is my Cyclone hot take that most Cyclone fans probably don't agree with.
It's just like when you're on Welch. And it's like super dog. It's like it's a hot dog, and it's
I've
good when you're
never
drunk.
had it.
I've never had a sober one, so I can't really. I don't have the greatest testing of if it's actually good. It's just, these kids don't understand nowadays, but there used to be fighting burrito,
Oh,
and you know it. Yeah, you remember how
I
fucking delicious those
yep.
were? I had that sober once, complete dog shit. They should have only been open from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. or
They were
3
open
a.m.
until 4 a.m. Like that was the
Yeah,
greatest when they moved to Welch and opened until 4 a.m. That is the greatest business
if you,
idea they could have came up with.
you mean after the legal name change, since there is the kid from our high school that found the other one. There's one other
Flying
flying
in the whole
burrito,
United
and
States.
he in the United States goes in there and goes, "Hey, are you related to the one in Ames?" And 6 months later, we had to change it from flying to fighting burrito because of copyright
Yep.
reasons. Yeah. So little Ames history for you. But anyways, Trent, yeah, I don't know if you ever kept up with fighting burrito other than when you were drunk. But a few years after that, after I went to school, all of a sudden they started using healthy ingredients, and it wasn't the greasy fighting burrito. Because I had a shitty day at work, and I just wanted a greasy one. No, it was all super nice rice and healthy meats. And you know what happened? They're closed now
Oh,
because you just got rid of the.
yeah.
Yeah, shocker! You got rid of the shitty drunk food that everyone
Yep.
loved, and you tried to make it nice. No, that's not what you were ever about. It was greasy rice, and I've never seen a larger scoop of beans in my life where they didn't give them a couple rinses. They just like water and everything, just sloshed it down, and you just and it was this girthy thing,
Oh
and
yeah.
you just well for me, I ate the whole thing,
Yeah.
and guess what? You felt good the next day.
Yep.
I did. The point of eating a burrito that large isn't to go, man. Good thing I had some turkey breast in there and some jasmine. Right? No, I wanted white rice with dark black beans, steak, extra
Yeah.
queso. To feel good the next day.
I remember that they on their website had a webcam so you could see the line. That was genius too.
Uh, that was basically live. That was like Twitch live streaming
Oh yeah.
before it became a real
From
thing.
like 15 years ago.
I mean, I guess we're probably not selling it as impressive as it was. Yeah, that was before like they had just cameras
Yeah.
everywhere. I have 2 cameras watching outside of my apartment right now. Yeah, that was when cameras weren't everywhere. So, well, shit. We're talking about Ames, but shit. Let's get back to some Iowa State basketball, dude. Um, they also beat Texas earlier this week, and they damn sure tried to lose that one. I missed the very end of it, but you're telling me they were making some shots at the end. Real quick, do you hate Kyrie's Hunter, or are you over him now?
I'm over him. Like, whatever, dude.
See,
Like,
the same here. I'm over him, and like I'm okay with all. I'm also okay with people dunking on him because it's like, hey, you gave up on us when we hit a Sweet 16 when we were kind of at our highest, and you were part of it, and we appreciate you for it. But then you up and leave for I think it was rumored like $600,000 NIL deal, and but then it's also like towards the end of the day, man, we've had NIL for like 2 years now, man. We've benefited
yep.
from it. There are people that leave. It's like, and also, I think as a team, we didn't quite get there last year. We're better because he left.
Oh,
We got Taman to start
yeah.
early.
Would you rather have Taman Lipsey or Tyrese Hunter right now?
Yeah, the guy who just scored 0 points in his last game versus the rivalry or not rivalry revenge game, if you will.
Yeah.
He always wants to ball out versus Iowa State. Why wouldn't
Yeah.
he?
Now, I don't think it would be as bad if he didn't just run his mouth and say, well, I mean, not for
Yeah,
the money. Oh, really? You're leaving to
yeah,
the richest athletic program on the face of the earth, but it ain't about the money. Like, don't run your mouth
yeah,
too.
definitely.
Who wants this smoke? It's like your Twitter says who wants to smoke, and your name is Walking
Yeah.
Bucket, and you go 0 for 8.
Yeah, that's just good comedy written right there, man.
So
Come on, like
it's just the way he went out, I think. And now, like he said, I'm over it because it's been
but for people to
it's
not be
it's
over
been a
it's
whole
crazy.
year. Like last year, yes, it
Mhm.
was a thing. It was his first time back in
Yeah,
Hilton. It was the first time Iowa State plays him on the road. It was a thing last year.
yep.
It's there's been a whole season in between there now.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. There's a whole year. There's been 2 full off seasons.
Yep.
Just get over it at this point, man.
Yep. Now going back to that Baylor thing. One more thing.
Yeah.
Iowa State wins that game. Their sole possession of first place in the Big 12. But no,
You didn't have to remind me of that and make me sadder that way.
I had to bring it up. But hey, back to the Texas game that we won. Yay!
But hey, I mean, I'm looking at it right now. I mean, Houston 7-3, and we're tied with Baylor at 6-3 right now. We would take that 10 times that.
Right now, Iowa State.
It's actually
Iowa State has a tiebreaker with Houston right now because Iowa State beat Houston in the first matchup, but they've got that one extra win because they played one more game. So they're up by a half a game on us, on everybody else.
I'm looking at it right now. We got a team that's ranked 21st at BYU, and they got a losing record in the conference, and they're 16-6. They're like 10th in the league, but they're nationally ranked.
Yeah,
I just we can keep pounding our chest on it, but that's why I mean Big 12 basketball is the same as SEC football.
Yep.
You know that we pout about. Now it's just like this average team that BYU would be dominating Big 10. We can just do that all day now.
Yeah. I mean, BYU smacked Iowa State around.
Yeah, no. That was. How is it? Well, and I'm sorry, we're actually starting to see. Early in the year, we were kind of going, how is every team just clutch against 3 versus Iowa State? Now we're starting to see it, Trent. In the Baylor game and in the Texas game, they just have these outlet passes that are just like a guy. There's no one within 8-10 feet of them.
Yeah.
And it just our defense is so good. That is, if we run, I'm going to call this right now. We run into whoever the Florida Gulf Coast team of the mid majors this year, we're going to lose that game because it seems like we are way better at our droughts this year than we were last year. But if we have a team that can pass and that can shoot the 3, Dunzo, I will easily put $25 on the money line against Iowa State if we play a team like that.
Yeah. So Iowa State was holding Texas over from 3 until about 6 minutes left. And then that Disu or Daisu, however you say his last name, hits 3 in a row. I mean, so they did play pretty good 3-point defense that game. If it weren't for him, they would have went 0 for 14. He went 3 for 6. So
Trent, I want your light. Go ahead. Sorry.
I'd say the perimeter defense isn't that great. They just weren't hitting shots until that guy lit on fire.
Yeah. I want your live reaction here. NFL MVP Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson.
Wow. So great.
One game. I'm sorry. Him and Purdy both had great seasons. That one game dictated the whole thing. And we knew when we were watching it.
The Ravens 49ers game, that whoever won that was going to win the MVP. And it happened.
Yep. Golly, I had Purdy at plus 2,000, man. Fuck. I could have just made some good money on that. And I had a Purdy Tyrese Halliburton parlay. Yeah. Man, I'm so close.
Yep. Yeah, Lamar Jackson, quarterback who's not in the Super Bowl, who played awful against the Chiefs. Yeah, he's MVP.
You know what? Whatever. Purdy would not trade that spot in the world.
Yep.
My bank account needed it, though. I told myself when I lost that Kansas bet, I wasn't putting money in until March Madness. And I kind of needed that Purdy one to hit. So I had some money. I put in all my Super Bowl futures actually already. So I'm set on that one. But, man, $10 to win 200. That would have been pretty sweet to hit.
Do you got any any bets Brock Purdy to win the Super Bowl MVP, though?
Brock Purdy to score a rushing touchdown.
Oh, I like that.
I'm sorry that as a Chiefs fan, you actually get the script of the NFL games early. I mean, when you're reigning champ, you get that. What's going to happen is Christian McCaffrey is going to get the first touchdown. Then Travis Kelce is going to be a big part of the game. He's going to score 2 touchdowns and be our leading receiver, obviously. The Chiefs have no one else here. Purdy's going to scramble on a broken play, score his touchdown, and then Travis Kelce is going to win MVP of the game because I think people are getting tired of Mahomes winning the MVP. And with how he has had to rely on Kelsey so much this year, it's going to happen one more time when the Chiefs win. I hit my plus 900 futures odds on the Chiefs, and then Travis hits the plus 1200 MVP. I mean, it's written right there, dude.
Yeah. You know the script.
You have any futures?
I don't have anything yet.
Or props?
No. I'm going back to Iowa tomorrow, though, so I might get something in.
Oh, okay. Yep. Yeah, I forgot. You're geolocated, not in a spot where you. But I would say, well, if you think of any good ones at the end, let us know so we can all cash in and celebrate at the same time next week.
Yeah.
I like it. If you listen to the latest Taylor Swift record backwards, which is that Man on the Moon that they say you listen to it backwards or some shit. Yeah, we're the tortured poets department. That's just the Chiefs. The tortured poets department is every Chiefs fan that was trying to defend Kadarius all year, saying that it was just a fluke that interception in the Detroit game bounced off his hands, and then he had another drop, and then he had another offsides, and they had another. Somehow that guy has multiple bat it to the defender for a pick sixes this year.
It's all in the script, man. He was just following the script.
I didn't like it when they wrote it down, but I couldn't tell you guys until now.
Yep.
So, but back to Iowa. We always just go on these fucking tangents off. For the upcoming games, Iowa State, if you can say we have a little bit of a breather compared to the last 5-6 games. Yep. We could play TCU at home, which will be a tough one. They're going to look for revenge after that 27 turnover game. It ain't going to happen in Hilton. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That is what you'll see what Hilton magic is, not this BS Carver magic. And then play at Cincinnati, which, I mean, they've played Xavier. They've played some of these bigger mid-major teams. I'm not going to discredit them. I just don't know anything about their basketball team to know if we should be intimidated or not. But also, Trent, we've watched enough Iowa State basketball. This one is going to be a walk in the park. Turns into we either skate by with a close one, or we just straight up shit our pants on the road again.
We've seen the script. We know how this goes.
Yeah. I'm going to get kicked in the nuts again this week. Okay, sounds good. Life as a Cyclone fan.
Get the Iowa State branded nut cup out. Yeah, Iowa State's first front half of the conference was loaded, and now Iowa State hits the quote. You could say the easier half of their schedule. Still not easy, but it's man, take care of business, and they could be right there. People are saying that the Iowa State Houston game at Houston, last game of the year, or it'd be the second last game of the year, could be for the regular season title.
I'm getting Ken Palm pulled up here. I don't know if we're going to get in trouble if I do, but we're going to lose on those 2 cents out on our YouTube streams here.
Which we're not even getting. So,
yeah, we probably don't have our bank account set up there. But we're favored in every single game here. 73, 51, 70. So 51% versus Cincinnati. So maybe there's something they know that we don't. Yeah. But the only game where we're not favored is Houston.
Yep.
Everything else is 60+% we should win. Now, does that mean Iowa State's not going to poop the bed? I mean, we probably got
we've seen this
honestly
before.
2 to 3 losses in there.
Yeah.
But like we said, 6-3 to start this conference year. That's probably way better than I thought it was going to be. We talked about going 500 and feeling fine. If we would have went 4-5 in that, I think we still would have been fine. A little disappointed, but we're 6-3 with the BS loss to Baylor that we kind of pissed away with our free throws.
Yes.
So I mean, we're there, but man, 3-point defense and free throws, we got to get better at that. I don't know how you get way better at free throws before marching at madness, man. But Rob Jones, I love you. You've been great this year. You've been the leader. Lead us in free throw percentage, please, for the love of God, man. That's brutal, dude.
The Baylor game, when everybody was going absolutely nuts, it was after the 3 technicals, and
Yep.
he goes to the line and airballs a free throw. I was like,
He missed one and then
and then
airballs.
airballed the net. Yeah, he missed 2 in a row. Missed the first one,
Yeah.
airballed the second. Like, I do not envy
No-
him right now.
I looked it up. They're 19 of 34. 13 points left on the board. If you even hit half of those, we win the game by 2 scores.
That's like a touch over 50%. Like, that is awful.
Yeah.
Absolutely awful.
Hey, that's good with the bad man. We finally have size on the interior. We had years where 6'6" was the tallest guy, man. Now we at least got some guys with some size and some men in the middle. I guess that's the balance we're gonna have to take, man. We're gonna have to take shitty free throw shooting in order to have that size in the middle. You know, Shaq was a terrible free throw shooter, but he was also the best interior player in NBA history. I don't care. Yeah.
So speaking of like 6'6" or tallest guy, do you know what happened 10 years ago today? I'm sure you saw this.
I'm actually blanking. Shoot, hit me with it.
Melvin Ejim's 48-point game versus TCU.
Yep, once you said Melvin Ejim, I knew TCU 40-point game.
48, the most in Big 12 history. He probably could have had 50, but they took him out.
Yep. I'm telling you, when you have those type of historical moments, like don't take the guy out.
Yeah.
Dolphins, score that extra touchdown versus the Broncos, because look what happened. You got a first round bye in the playoffs, and now you also don't have history. You could have at least had that.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. Yeah, I watched the highlights of it. They had it on Iowa State social media today, and it was I kind of forgotten about it. Like, half of his points were dunks. Like, and they're just like George Niang was just passing up wide open bunnies to just like feed Ejim the ball and just pad his stats. It was insane.
Melvin Ejim was him for quite a while.
Yeah.
He's still playing
overseas.
In Europe,
yeah.
Yeah, he's playing for Kaha. I don't know if it's a soft J, but
Yogging.
Yeah, Yogging. He's playing for the Yoggers. He has he has 2 bronzes in the FIBA World Cup, and he got a silver in the Pan American Games
for Canada.
For Canada, representing Canada.
Yeah, he's from Canada.
He's what it's all about. Damn it, Spencer. All right. Speaking of elite, for what the Dolphins did get this year, they do have that Paramount commercial. That better than a Super Bowl, in my opinion.
Good for Tua.
Yeah, good for Tua. He got to meet Sir Patrick Stewart. That's actually pretty good on.
And Arnold from Hey Arnold. He's in the commercial too.
Seriously, that might be one of the better ones. They just, I love when these companies, sometimes it feels forced. That one just felt like they're leaning to, hey, they've done those in the past where it's different cartoon characters and everything, but just leaning into, let's go with the most obscure Super Bowl. And you know what? Fuck it. Let's have Creed in here too.
Yeah.
You know, that just brought it over the top there, man.
Yep.
Between the Hey Arnold and the Creed, my millennialism was just really flaring up at that point. So, I don't know, man. What do you think on TCU Cincinnati? I think we go 2-0?
2-0.
With ease?
No. Hell no. We know how this goes. With ease, we're going to be up by 20 in both of those games and win by 3.
Yeah, I would say we will lose a double-digit lead, at least in one of them, if not both. Yep. It's just, and if we don't, hey, Iowa State, prove us wrong, please.
Yeah, we
don't want to be right about
we
this.
like to be wrong on this podcast. One of the things that was crazy in that Texas game was Iowa State went on that drought. This is what got Texas back in the game. I think it was like a 3.5 minute drought where they didn't score and Texas didn't miss. They went 7 for 7 in that drought.
It's such a good feeling for them at home though too, man. When you're in that environment, it doesn't even matter if it's Hilton or wherever it is. That place is fucking bumping.
Yeah.
7 for 7, and all of a sudden your opponent just can't hit anything for 4 minutes.
That's just like if Iowa State hits this drought, it's fine if they continue playing great defense and Texas goes 2 of 7, 3 of 7. No, they went 7 of 7.
Yeah,
That
4. Yeah, even 5 of 7.
that's
Sure,
when the
that's a
dude
good
hit
stretch.
those 3 threes in a row. Is during that stretch. I'm like, oh my god.
I was recording with Ryan live and I couldn't watch it because. By the way, fuck the Longhorn Network, and I'm glad to be done with Texas simply for that fact. I know we're not going to make as much money probably in the future from it. Maybe it will cost in the long run, but goddamn, I am so glad I don't have to worry about trying to find the Longhorn Network. That is the dumbest thing. They just catered to Texas for the last decade. They forced bullshit games that everyone had to either buy a cable package or not watch their favorite team to cater to Texas. And they have specifically catered announcers that everything that the Texans, the Texas Longhorns did, they were just garbling their marbles about. And then anything they said, in all honesty, Trent, you didn't watch Longhorn, right? Or did
I
you
did.
catch it? You
I
did.
watched it.
Okay. Oh shit, I forgot we both have jailbroke streams. So they were up 17 at one point. Iowa State was, and these announcers had the audacity to go, you know what? I watched them in practice. They really don't have anyone that stands out. We have a Naismith Smith Defensive Player of the Year playing out there. We're up by 5 possessions.
Yeah.
Or 6 at that point. You know what? Nothing really impresses me. Go fuck yourself,
They
dude.
just
Go to
kept
the SEC and become fucking
they
irrelevant,
just
dude.
kept saying, well, if they could get this within 10, under 10 minutes, they got 6 minutes to score, to gain 7 points on Iowa State. It's like, it's so biased. They just kept, and they said that, um, is it Jones or Gilbert, the better 3-point shooter? I can, but he was at the free throw line. He's like, oh, he's not, if you watch him in practice, he's not a great player. It's like, what?
Yeah. And it was probably, you know what it probably was? It was probably the one bad practice the kids had.
Yeah.
They keep track of it. And like we were talking, getting hyped in the summer about how they were keeping track of these stats and we're shooting so good from 3 in defense. We're like, oh, this is great. We keep track of that. They probably got the one bad practice and go, yep, that's the definite. This kid just isn't the greatest.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah. He's like, he's not, practice, he's not a great player, but when it comes to the games, he's pretty good. It's like, dude.
Yeah, they were awful. But I was gonna bring up. You know what I'm looking forward to, Trent? I'm looking forward to the first time there's an SEC game, not on the SEC network, not on ESPN or ESPN2 like they're used to. I can't wait for the first SEC exclusive game on the Longhorn Network, and then we'll really bring some heat to how fucking awful that network is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because all of a sudden, when Iowa State bitches about it, who cares? We only got so many fans. The first
Alabama.
Auburn at Texas game that you can only watch on the Longhorn Network, you're gonna hear some fucking yelling and screaming from the SEC, and they get around. It's like any Big 12 thing. Anything Big 12 versus the world, Iowa State, Oklahoma State, doesn't matter. That will bring some real heat on why the fuck would this ever be on the Longhorn
Now,
Network.
is ESPN are they gonna continue Longhorn Network?
I don't know, man. I've meant to do the research on it and figure it out, but I don't know how that wouldn't be. Well, I think it's Texas's. I think they have to, man. I mean, if Texas continues to run it and
But I think it's ran
lose
by
money on it.
ESPN, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, no, you're right. It did. I believe in the 10 years it's lost like $60 million. It's like losing millions a year, but they signed up for it. So dig your fucking grave, ESPN. You've already manipulated everything else. I'm glad you're finally losing in something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's still going to be a thing. Maybe it is. I don't know.
I don't know. I think it would because I mean it's still with that size of an athletic department, dude. You're gonna be able to find anything to stream on it, even if it's highlights.
Yeah,
that's what they do 90% of the time. Hey, remember when we used to be good at this? Hey, remember the not money making sport? We have 200 trophies in swimming. Congrats.
Did you catch what was on there before the Iowa State game?
Missed it. What is it?
The alumni baseball game.
Whoa, riveting stuff,
Yeah.
man. Those are truly people that can't get over like, hey, I went to Iowa State, and sometimes like who gives a shit? Those guys, they're wearing burnt orange every day. We all have, I think you probably have one polo that has Iowa State. They got all the button ups with the Longhorn on it. They got the pin. they got everything. And they're always wearing a cowboy hat too, because they're wearing the cleanest cowboy hat you've ever seen in your life. One that's never seen an honest day's work in your life. None that has a layer of dust from actually herding cattle. They're just the guys walking around in the business park down there in Austin with the cleanest, crispest cowboy hat. It's terrible. So, well, shit, man. Say anything else about basketball here? I'm kind of down to the bottom, other than why I was going to ask you why Mick Foley's a Caitlin Clark fan.
Yeah, that was very out of left field on that one. I was like, what?
Joey had to change his pants once he saw that.
Yeah.
Do you think now? Mick Foley's a fan. Do you think the sock is a Caitlin Clark fan too?
Yeah, Sacco definitely.
Yeah, Sacco. All right. What else? I think we should save the almost Cyclone what if Mount Rushmore. We'll save that for when things slow down a little bit, because that list is extensive.
Yeah,
man. That's insane.
We're an hour in. We could go another hour on that. The near misses.
Hey, we have all those misses, and look where we're at now. We missed on Harrison Barnes. We got TJ Otzelberger finally. We missed out on fucking
Jim Harbaugh, Mac Brown.
Yeah, Jim Harbaugh and Brian Kelly. Wouldn't want those guys. No. We got Matt Campbell now.
Yeah.
So we're happy.
Yeah.
And don't write down that I was angry about it. No. So, but alrighty. Well, hey, we appreciate everyone streaming. We actually at one point had about 21 live streamers from Twitter and everything else. So we do appreciate everyone joining in us live and participating. But
thanks.
We'll do it.
Thanks to all the sex bots that we're streaming, I guess.
I forgot about YouTube that they used. They've really cleaned it up at least. So we've blocked the sex bots here. But
I clicked on it, like they were all from Twitter.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, damn it. Well, I don't block those on Twitter.
Yeah.
Damn. Hey, sex bot, real person that likes having sex. Hey, we appreciate you listening, and we'll catch you next.